All right. Apparently, I am live, which is, for the good. Brought my camera in extra close because I'm drawing on smaller paper today, but I forgot I wanted to show a kind of big book. It's a few people liked it, but only one person's here. I hope that's not me. Always. The sound is good. Put the mic a little closer to my yapper. All right. So the book I'm showing, Gottfried Baum's The Complete Guide to Anatomy for Artists and Illustrators. Now, for years, I only knew of this book, and actually, Anton, how you doing? I only knew of this book and owned it in its German edition, which I think is the only language it's in Europe. I had my Dutch relatives obtain a copy for me and ship it to me, and it was amazing. I learned so much from it, despite not being able to, get past the most rudimentary German. But this is, to my mind, still the ultimate anatomy reference book. I might have to skip some pages because there are photographs of nude figures in this. But he breaks down the figures in a way that feels like George Bridgman to the next level. So when this finally came out in English, I believe it's still in print. Who published it in English? Search Press. I don't know them. They might be a division of a larger publisher. Tunbridge Wells, Kent. That's a huge place. Anyway, so there is an English version for people who want the best anatomy book ever put together. It's not cheap. Maybe what I'll do is after the video, I'll see if I can find the Amazon link and put it up there. So it has a wonderful overview. It was wonderful to read the stuff that I wasn't able to understand at all. And he's going through the history of anatomy and everything. Pretty standard stuff if you've gone to art school and you went through other anatomy books. But where it starts getting good is when he's taking his work and how he approaches teaching the figure. Like let's bring this down here a bit more so I can show the bottom of the book. There you go. Just simple proportions, just blocking in the simplified proportions is great. Doing little cutouts or rubber stamps of the forms to move them around, so you actually get a sense of the limitations of what these. If you're in art school and you've ever made like a silhouette cutout paper doll, it gives you an idea of the range of motion that your limbs can take and maintain proportions in different poses. Contrapostive posing, more, and I could spend like an hour and a half on this at all. And here, this is when I first saw this page. A friend had a copy in German. I first saw the sculpture of the knee into simplified forms and how it came together. And then these drawings of the knee, these incredibly precise, almost like mechanical renderings of the knee in different positions. And suddenly I understood the knee just that much better than I had ever done before. From no matter, like the Peck book was great, Bridgman, Loomis, all that stuff. But seeing this one page of drawings, and then brought again over to like more fleshy skin, basically showing the surface anatomy on top of the bones and the muscles and everything. And it's just every step across to developing a fully realized form. Here's the breakdown of the pelvis. Look at this pelvis. Essentially, it's an ice cream cone with a slight point to it. And he cuts bits out of it and he compares it to the actual pelvis. And he's cutting other bits out of it. And he's basically like doing it from a subtractive sculptural method. And I don't know about you guys, but whenever I've actually tried to sculpt something, I've learned so much more about it. Look at these skulls, these incredibly simplified skulls. I'll pull this back down here again. So this book is amazing. And what I'm going to do is more sculptural stuff. The sculptural stuff is incredible. I picked up some stuff to start doing some head maquettes for my drawing. And I'm looking forward to doing it. Some more art history stuff. Here's proportions again. Just a wonderful way to break them down. Using again these wonderful, probably cut film to get, or you might have actually cut the paper itself and then had the paper photographed, which would be a lot of work. Doing this today would be almost entirely digital. Just going at the proportions again and again and again. A nice section, the general morphology, like what constitutes an area. Photographs. Here he is looking like proportions of the head. More proportions, but broken down, even more detailed. I mean, the more you break down anatomy, the more you can learn about it. And here we are. This is still, we're 100 pages in. We're still at the most incredibly simplified version of the figure. I got to pull this up because there's no way I'm going to be able to contain all this awesomeness. That's a little bit better. All right. Oh, cord's tight. You're going to have to start looking at it because I know there's more photo reference coming up. Sculpture again. Here, full adult male versus infant proportions. That's kind of terrifying, but it really gets across like just how bad John Byrne screwed things up. Not to pick on John Byrne, but you know, got to pick on John Byrne sometime. Proportions all the way through the ages, more proportions, infant. Lots of photos of different ages to show stuff. I'm going to get into some skeletal anatomy, show how he breaks that stuff down. And the photo reference, I wish I could show the photo reference because it's great. Here's a nice walk cycle showing how the body's moving, like the hip sway here. Great stuff. It's so good. Action photos of athletes. Breakdown of the human figure running. More athlete photos. Again, got to be worried about breakdown of the actual joint for the fingers and the knee and everything. Just breaking that down for us. He's showing some range of motion. But look at the level of detail in this drawing just to show the range of motion bending over forwards and backwards. So good. Actual drawings of the bones. There's a sculptural way to the way he renders this and cross-hatches everything. It just feels three-dimensional, but the lines actually give you the idea of what directions these forms are moving in. Look at that. Look at that. Oh my God. Full range of the knee. So you basically, you know, your hip goes into your ass when you do that sit on your toes thing. The way the tendons wrap around the knee. This is just the knee. We're in the knee. We're spending all this time on the knee. Photos of the knee. The muscles going across from the pelvis across the kneecap, so the upper thigh. Muscles and tendons around the knee. Oh my God, so amazing. And you're finally to the pelvis. Look at the structural drawing of this pelvis. Look at that. Oh my God. Get some comments. Well, this is an older book, Dwight, but it's one I want to share about it. Yeah, burn babies are nightmare fuel. Again, simplified pelvis. Here he's showing the muscles connecting to the pelvis, all the points, how everything wraps around. This is a wonderful mannequin. I used to turn this page into a handout for my students. Yeah, starting to remember where all the photos are, so I'm being a little precognitive around what I'm showing. Figures moving with the hips. More robust drawing of like the pelvis connecting down through the thighs. Feet are pretty awesome. The feet drawings are pretty awesome. But there's a drawing I want to find. There's a skeletal leg with the leg moving through space. It's just so cool. I've done so many little studies. I should probably filled up a whole sketchbook by doing them on like little sheets of bond paper. Full leg. Slight bend in the knee, showing all the different muscles wrapping what they're doing through here. I know there's more photos coming up, and this is a sensitive area for pet photos. Vertebrae. Draws All of them. Look at that. Oh my God. So good. Full range of motion just for the spine. Hope I'm covering everything fast enough. The rib cage. Oh, nothing showing there. All right, cool. Look at that rib cage drawing. Isn't that amazing? The simplified shape, like a wire structure to really understand what's happening. One of the things that I kind of like, I remember one of my students being completely blown away by the fact that the spine is actually contained inside the rib cage. It's only the rear protuberances of the spine that actually come out a bit for all the muscles to connect to. Just look at this. Look at these. Perfect structural drawings. This drawing here, this drawing blows my mind. Probably used a life model and backward constructed a skeleton from it. Might use a photo reference, but I don't think he had to. He's that good. Just want to stay away from photo reference entirely. There's only a few more things I want to show. The skull stuff is pretty amazing. I mean, here's some more full figure stuff showing the core activated. I mean, just really amazing, top-notch anatomy to learn from. But I want to, love the collarbone construction. Michael Hampton does a great thing where it's the collarbones are essentially like bicycle handlebars, and you can really see it here. That's a nice thing for that there. Photos. There's this old German guy in here who's like 2% body fat, and there's poses of him like flexing his back muscles, and it's like it's worth the book alone. The muscles moving. Hand stuff. The hand stuff is really awesome. Look at these arms. Such good stuff. The actual drawing of the hand is so good, so carefully rendered. Just these hands interacting with objects, feeling the planes with the hatching going across the surface. Whole arms, beautifully drawn arms. Actually on the neck. We're getting there. Whoops. What do I want to show you? You know what I want to show you? Here we go. Look at that. Look at that skull drawing. Breaks down planar analysis of the skull shape. Because a lot of people start with the sphere and they don't really think of it past that, but there's like all these little planar shifts on the skull. Skulls are kind of bony, pointy things. Oh man, I love these. Muscle and expressions. I'm going to wrap that up there. This is a book worth getting. Again, it's Gottfried Thomas. Here we go. For artists and illustrators. Yeah, if you're in Europe, you can probably find it easier in German. But so Search Press here in North America put out the English edition. I was tempted to put them side to side, but they're the same book except for the text. So that's the art book I'm showing off this week. It's not a new one. I did get some new stuff, but that's the one I wanted to show off this week. Hope you guys all like that. It's cool stuff. I say. Now, last week I said I was up in the air what I was going to do this week. If someone wanted to commission something, I would have done that. No one jumped on that, so understandable. Everyone's got to do their own stuff. But I remembered years ago, Jim McLaughlan from the Here Initiative sent me a bunch of these Here Initiative sketch boards. They're really nice, high quality Bristol, I should say, Bristol. Bristol, what happens when I don't shave every day. And I did a few of them. Then I kind of lost track of it. I just got busy with work, and I started doing I did a couple more. I haven't scanned them yet. Honestly, I took a few minutes looking for them. I couldn't find them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and draw 1, 2, maybe 3 characters on these Here Initiative things. And every time I'm at a loss for what I should do on a Sunday, I'll probably dig these out. because I figure every time I hit around 10, I'm going to send these over to Jim at the Hero Initiative, and he'll have some sort of online auction and raise money for probably the best charity in comics, the Hero Initiative. If you don't know about the Hero Initiative, um, considering comics is largely an American art form, even though it's gone international, of course, but in typical American fashion, the vast majority of people who've worked in comics had no sort of pension or safety net whatsoever for them. So the Hero Initiative was formed by way as, and this is before GoFundMe, but by way as an emergency fund for creators who are falling on hard times. If you go to their website, which I believe I put a link right on the main screen, you can actually, they have some testimonies of people who've been helped out by it. They got some comics by people who've been helped out by the Hero Initiative. It's almost unfathomable to me that the people who created this industry I get to make a living in, when they were essentially spat out after being used up, they had nothing. Herb Trimpe, I think it was probably the longest serving Hulk artist in the history of the character. When he was done, and Marvel just wouldn't give him work. There was like nothing for him. I mean, it's such a popularity contest type of gig. He went back to school. He got a teacher's degree, and he got a few years more work as a comparatively young man. I think he was in his 50s when Marvel basically said, "No, we can't give you anything anymore." I'm a strong believer. There's got to be some sort of way to take care of these people, and right now, until something better comes along, we got the Hero Initiative. So a lot of times, if I'm at a convention, and I'm going to be doing some conventions again next year, I was trying to do some online project, and we just couldn't get it off the ground. So that's unfortunate. But so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do some comic convention next year, and every convention I'm at, unless I'm actually there explicitly for the Hero Initiative, I'm going to have a bucket. So if I sign some books or you buy a sketch, I'll ask you to do like a tip, and all that money is going to go to the Hero Initiative. And I've done a number of sketch covers for them over the years. Captain America, Hellboy, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I think that's all of them. And they sell them. It's called the 100 Project, and you get the artwork of 100 sketch covers inside this nice little paperback or hardcover book by artists from like Mike Mignola, Arthur Adams, Bill Sienkiewicz, like all the tops, all the greats. And luckily I got to be included in a few of those. So they're great books, and it all goes to a good cause. And the drawings I'm working on tonight, they're also going to go to a good cause. So as I'm thinking about what I should draw first, I did the Thing. I like drawing the Thing, and haven't drawn the Thing in a little while. So maybe I'll start with drawing the Thing here. My Thing is largely based on Mike Roringos. He was for the longest time, he was my best friend in comics. We talked. God, the phone bills we ran up, just huge phone bills. Weekly, just shooting the shit, talking about comics, talking about like career choices. And so when he was doing the Fantastic Four, I read the John Byrne Fantastic Four, despite his inability to draw children in a reasonable manner. But another Byrne doesn't get old. But I think Mike Ringo's Thing was the first time I actually ever had an inclination to draw myself. Just wasn't a Fantastic Four guy. I mean, like when I was working on that Galactus piece, it's like the initial Kirby designs. As much as I now appreciate Kirby in a way that I didn't when I was young. How to put this pencil that's bugging me a bit. Yeah, swap legs here. 1 second. Yeah, I think I didn't really look at drawing the thing as even worth my time. And that's gonna sound arrogant as crap, but it just wasn't something I wanted to draw until I saw, the amount of fun that Mike was able to put in that character. And sorry, it's taking me a bit to. Oh my God, this leg thing's empty. I have to get a different. Okay, this one's empty too. Sorry, I'm just trying to. I just found a whole pile of lead, but they're all the wrong leads for this pencil. And now I'm knocking stuff over with the cable for my headset. Where are my 0.7 leads? My gosh, this is so weird. I might have to actually revert to using an actual real pencil as opposed to my mechanical pencil for sketching. All this dead screen time, I'm ruining everything. Oh, there they are. Oh my God. So a little while ago, I bought this massive box of refills, and I keep putting it down and forgetting where I put it down. So here we go. So there we go. That's what I'm looking to put in here. I'm going to put it back exactly where I just found it because I'm more likely to remember it that way. And this is my good old-fashioned Pentel clicky pencil. So it advances the lead like that by clicking down here, which is cool. So I don't have to do a weird little position shift. I think this is a different brand of lead, so it's not worth using. These are really good. I usually throw in like 3 to 4 at a time. I think you're only supposed to put 2 in at a time, but I live dangerously. All right, let's pull this off. Why is this not coming off? Here we go. There we go. And I put the leads down here in this model of pencil. So they're all in there. And there's a brand new lead. All right, there we go. They're more of a longer upper lip, more of a Hellboy thing. Oh, I see chatter here. Hang on. Yeah, for me, it's like if I hear there's a great run in a book, I'll pick it up and trade later. Yeah, it's so weird the way, Ben is supposed to be shorter than Reed. And then just to make, and then they talk about how he's able to go toe to toe to the Hulk. The Hulk's 10 feet tall now. When will I get to learn in Daniel Warren Johnson's style? Why would I think Daniel Warren Johnson's great. It's amazing. I've checked out a few of his streams. I buy a lot of his books, but why would I want his style? I mean, it's like the best person to do Daniel's style is Daniel. Nose is off. Just curious. That's just And I honestly don't know if that's a serious question, Danny. Sorry. If it's a joke, okay. Um, I mean, I do like. I like watching when he has a stream on Friday night, short low stream, and I just love the energy he throws into his drawings. These big, almost crazy sloppy brushstrokes that just have like this bottomless amount of energy in them. I love that stuff about his work, but I don't draw anything like him. I don't think we construct figures or perspective at all the same way. I think it'd be an insult if I tried aping his style. I think, at least to my mind, it would be. Plus, in this instance, I don't think Daniel Warren Johnson's ever drawn the thing, or if he has, I haven't seen it. I love his Star Wars stuff. I think right now he's doing Transformers or something, which is not something I've been into. Give him a V-neck. Well, thank you, Danny. Yeah, I'm just sorry. Uh, the Daniel Warren Johnson thing kind of flummoxed me a bit. Sorry. Yeah, I totally agree. I think the wonderful thing about comics right now is literally that the whole diversity of strength thing. I don't think we've had as many different artists working in their own unique approach to line and storytelling in history of comics. You think about, say, the early '70s or something, and it's like everyone was drawn like if it was DC, everyone was working in something that appealed to Carmine Infantino. If it was Marvel, you were working in some variation of Kirby. Even John Buscema, when he first came in, had a strong Kirby thing going on with him. He got out of that pretty quickly, of course. But actually, you know what? I'm going to pull this here. Ben Grimm would have special glasses designed for him by Reed. Yeah, it's keep on thinking it's like Dan Panosian, what he's doing now compared to what he was doing when he came in, essentially via Rob Liefeld. He's 10 times, 1,000 times better than he was back then. You can still recognize the gestation of where he is today. But, and even then, he's not drawing at all the same way he did maybe 5, 6 years ago. If you look at slots and then look at the cover work he's just been doing lately with this, oh my, this amazing rendering, this beautiful rendering this he's been doing. It's astounding to say the least. Don't want that color up that high. Let's do this here. Let's put this down a little bit. There we go. Sorry, no planning drawing, just drawing on the fly here means I'm going to make a lot more mistakes. You should see me at a convention when I don't know I don't like what I'm doing, and I'll erase everything, or I'll just throw away a piece of paper I'm working on. Now, one of the things I do, you can see how dark all this pencil is. I'm using, I mean, this is is it HB? Yeah, it's HB, which is pretty soft if you're going to ink over it. But there's a little trick. You see this kneaded eraser here. You get it all nice and mushy. Get the stress out, and so it's all mushy. It's you're putting in some heat into it by stretching it, creating those molecular friction things there. And if it's soft, it's kind of graphite absorbent. So I take this rolled out piece of kneaded eraser, and I can roll it over top of the drawing, and it lifts off the most easily accessible amounts of graphite. Creates like it's almost like I drew this with I don't know, maybe an H pencil. It really just knocks everything back in a really, really good way. So I can actually look at the structural aspect of the drawing and decide what I want to lean into, what I want to get rid of. I usually like drawing more of a stony, rockier looking thing. So I'm probably going to start with, I could start with a 3, a nice chunky line. But I think I want to start with like a 1. See if I can find one started here. I have to open up a new one. So these are my usual inking pens for people new here. And a lot of people end up doing like that weird kind of like having a full round eye for the thing, but I actually kind of like the idea of like something of residual humanity being in Ben's eyes. That speaks to me a little bit more. And his eyes are going to be a complete rocky shadow, and I can do all sorts of effects to make that work. I can even, if I want to be extra lazy, I can take a circle template. How big do I want as a pupil there? That's way too big. So I get that mechanical smoothness for his pupil. All the other rougher lines going around it will just work better. I should have done them for the inside of the pupil too, but I'm going to be doing something different here. I can scribble in a lot of value right away, and I can go back in and noise it up with a little bit of white paint, different weight of markers. The entire point to make it look like there's like almost like all these like wrinkles, stone wrinkles, surrounding his eyes, as opposed to just doing like big black pits or something. I like the idea that, you know, every time he blinks, it's a little bit of stonework that has to fall off. And there's core shadows. If you studied art, you know what a core shadow is. Core shadow is the darkest part of a surface as it turns away from the light and before reflected light can come back in here. So these part of his brows are completely illuminated from the top part here. It might be a little dents and divots and stuff. But as it turns hard towards the shadow part of his eye, that gets darker, but it gets lighter as some reflected light from, say, anywhere around the thing here gets bounced back up into that area. So always try and be mindful of that core shadow, the extra little bit of darkness, because it generally creates more of a three-dimensional aspect with everything you're drawing. See what's happening? Yeah. Give him that tiny, tiny little rocky nose. I'd like to put some stone crinkles into the bridge of his nose. That weird kind of like thing that looks like pieces of Lego were stuck there. Doesn't quite do it for me. I like little rocks. The thing should be made of like all sorts of little rocks. And cast shadows generally have a core shadow as well. So this is cheekbone here. But these brow ridges are casting shadows down there. So I can render into that, make it a little darker, and it becomes a cast shadow with a core shadow on top of it. And here we go. All that magical knowledge just seeping into you guys. Oh God, there's a Human Torch would be fun. I'd paint him. I think drawing him would be weird. I could do a black and white drawing, but it'd almost be all lighting effects. Um, Now, Plastic Man or Elongated Man, that's pure cartooning to my mind. To do those characters right, it's all about stretch and squash, and I think I could do it, but I don't know if it would necessarily be showing off anything other than my ability to not draw a realistic anatomy, but do perspective with plastic shapes. Could be wrong. Could be a challenge in there I don't even recognize because I don't think I've done like headshots of Reed with like a stretched out face, just so everyone knew who I was talking about or who the subject was. But yeah, that's a hard one. Now Sue is fun to draw. Someone commissioned me to draw a butt first version of Sue, which was fun, racing off to fight Galactus on a big invisible floating disc, force field disc. Elongated band's almost like a punchline, I think. I mean, just think about that name, and of course, it's different meaning now than when it was first created. But come on, it's a little much. It's me deciding his head doesn't have to be as big as I initially started sketching it. Now, when you're doing a rough surface like this that's orbiting in space, let's grab a sketch pad so I can. Do I not have one handy? That's weird. Oh, here we go. Oh, it's just bored. All right. Yeah, just pen everywhere. Here we go. So if you have a round object here, draw a terrible circle, and it's crisscrossed with cracks. The cracks that are going to be look the widest or most clear are going to be the ones facing you, because you're actually looking into the depth of the crack. But as they go away, as they turn around the surface, as this is a three-dimensional sphere, what's going to happen is the cracks are going to overlap, and you're going to start losing some of the details of them as they turn away in space. So one of the great tricks to imply three-dimensionality when you just have surface details to work with is do your hard, heavy line work here where the eye can see it so it's really clear, and that the line gets spidery and disappear a lot as you go away from the form, which is what I'm doing here with the thing here. So we have these lines that are facing towards us, but the lines that are on the surface that are starting to face away, we can see some texture, but we can't see the level of detail of like what these cracks are doing here. Actually, I'm going to turn this around because there's a natural curvature to a line because of the swing of your wrist or your shoulder. And I like that curvature to go with the form as much as possible. See the one, I could probably jump to the 3 for some of this stuff too. Get those shadow values in there. So obviously the light coming across, everything's upside down now, but the light coming across means his lower jaw is going to be more in the shadow as it's like curving down back towards his chest. But as we come around the curvature towards here, we're going to get more of a scribble in that value there. By cross-hatching, I can increase that value again in a very graduated level. I think Barry Windsor Smith did a very good thing as well. Yeah, I think the elongated man and his wife, who I think they murdered her, like just badly. They hired some novelists to come in and do grown up comics, and one of the things he did is he basically put Sue Dibney through a meat grinder with a supervillain. So elongated man would no longer be like this happy-go-lucky detective. He'd be like this grieving widower, which is like, I mean, come on, people. Some things should just stay happy. I mean, it may not be super popular to always like have like a character who's like, wink, wink, nudge, nudge with his was it gin gold soda or something that gave him his powers? But some things are meant to be light. Let them be light. So here we have like, this can be a very light core shadow because it's transitioning from a light point at the top of the lip to here, but it's only when it actually starts coming down here, and then we're going to get a secondary core shadow where the reflected light's not hitting. Make sure this is on camera. And it's going to be really, really dark in here. We have the V-neck shirt. Just going to go extra dark in here. In fact, I'm going to swap over to the 0.3 because that'll be a nice heavier ink. You can render out of it. Actually make things a little darker here. Render back in to unify everything and put like those big kind of like chunky stones on his chest right immediately into play. Brad Meltzer, that's right. Yeah, sometimes you gotta. Yeah, sometimes you just gotta leave some characters unscathed. You gotta have hope. Or honestly, I think it would have been a stronger. I think about even how Moore described it as otherwise forgettable, but I think the only highlight of apart from the art, of course, from Moore and Boland's Killing Joke was the fact that despite the Joker putting Commissioner Gordon through everything, Gordon was still the strong character he always was supposed to be. Joker did the absolute worst to Gordon and Barbara, and at the end of it all, Gordon proved he was just that much better a person than the Joker ever was. Joker was comparatively weak, which I thought was, I mean, why isn't that an option? It's like, oh no, everyone's got to be messed up, everyone's got to be damaged, and it's like, no, no, some people got to be strong. They got to be strong in that light. I mean, so I think they actually, God, this is going so far back. I think they actually, had Plastic Man going vigilante at some point, which was to me unacceptable. It was just too much to my mind. I could be old fashioned. It's been a while since I've done a thing painting. Whenever I paint the thing, I put him in a Hawaiian shirt. I think my favorite thing painting, I put him in Brad Pitt's outfit from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I kind of would like to return to that. That just a lot of people, I think they kind of missed a lot of the stuff that Tarantino popped in there. I mean, just the fact that, I mean, yeah, it was a period appropriate shirt, but um, Brad Pitt's character is wearing a T-shirt that said "Champion" on it. I mean, come on. Um, Despite everything, it's like you knew he was going to win, no matter even when the Manson people showed up, the family. You just knew he really wasn't at risk because of everything that Tarantino did to set up the movie. I mean, it was just top level, top notch storytelling, to my mind, anyway. I know some people really don't like that movie, and I understand it, but it's like it's still one of my favorites of Tarantino's. I just finished rewatching Once Upon a Time. I think I watched it 3 times in a month and a half, and then Django, which is amazing. And I think Jamie Foxx being in Django was so much better than Will Smith. I think Will Smith would have, in some way, lessened the movie. I don't think he's quite the actor that Jamie Foxx is. I think Jamie Foxx is just an incredible talent who needs to do more dramatic work. He's just that good to my mind. I'm gonna do some sketchy buttons. I'm not gonna put too much effort into the buttons. Um, and Hateful Eight's a hard watch. It's good. I mean, I think Goggins does such a great job, and and Kurt Russell playing the ultimate asshole. Something like a role he was born to play. It's like Tarantino's the only person that gave Kurt Russell the roles that Kurt Russell can really pull off it like no one else. But Goggins is so good in Hateful Eight. I mean, Sam Jackson's really good in it. Bruce Dern's good in it. Bruce Dern's always good in Tarantino stuff. But Goggins almost stole that movie. You know what? I'm drawing it kind of low down here. Kind of feel like I should have done something up here, but I might render the hell out of something up there. Probably going to darken the shirt too. Well, I think we got Oracle because of what DC. See, if I remember correctly, Alan Moore asked if there's anyone who's vulnerable, and DC literally said you can do whatever you want to Batgirl because we're not going to do anything with her. And I think that gave Moore the wrong sort of permission. But I think as a result of that change, we got Oracle out of it. And I think Oracle was a better character than Batgirl ever was. Oh God, that scene! I got a friend up, the creator Sylv, who created Death Tally. She's been up visiting Toronto for a week. She loves the city up here, and so that's the reason I was watching Hateful Eight, and I explained about that guitar. Wow. Oh, you're talking about Chaos. I started watching it, and it seemed a little too broad for me. I'm gonna have to get back to that. A lot of people are saying they love it, and I'm generally pro Jeff Goldblum. Given the choice, I'll watch whatever he's in because he's just that entertaining. But I found, I don't know, I just wasn't connecting, and not in a way that felt like. Why am I blanking on how sunglasses are put together here like this? I've drawn sunglasses before, and now I'm just blanking for how the hinge goes. I can look at my glasses. Hang on. Oops. I just knocked the camera askew. It's not quite the same thing, but okay. I'll do this, and hopefully this will work out. My glasses are actually hitting the camera. That's a little too on the nose. Ba-dum-tum. Oh, I learned a really interesting bit of trivia. Jamie Foxx was, after Prince wasn't able to play Ruby Rod in Fifth Element, came down to two different actors, Chris Tucker and Jamie Foxx. And the director liked Jamie Foxx a lot better than Chris Tucker, but he decided that since the character was supposed to be reminiscent of Prince, he needed Chris Tucker's thinness to get that to play across. So that's why Jamie Foxx didn't get to do that bizarro character in Fifth Element. I just found that out today. I might be old news to other people who are like real fans of the movie. I gotta say, I own a copy of the movie. Since I bought it, I haven't been able to watch it all the way through in one setting. Such a weird experience. Yeah, I mean, it's like that would have been, and considering how young he was at that point, I mean, I think he would have been able to pull off the effeminate aspect of it. I mean, he's really got like one of those like I'm a full adult man now, and I have to look like this. Um, so I don't think he has that ability to pull off the other aspect of it now. But everything's going flying. I'm just being sloppy, knocking everything. And what am I going to do? We did go to an art supply store this week, back to school sale, and I found a brand of brush marker I've never seen before. Brush Marker Pro by no idea. Brush Marker Pro, made in Poland. It's by Karen. Here we go. It's a nice juicy black too. Just go over these again so they're not as scratchy blacks. Jump back to the one, which fell on the floor, so I gotta find it. That's not the one. I'm looking for the one. Did I put it aside over here? Nope, it fell. Yeah, I don't see where it fell. I have to grab a new one. Oh, I'm running low on one, but I'm gonna have to make an order. I think I say that every time I reach into that box and find the dwindling numbers of ones. All right, so that's giving me a shadow here. The collar. The shadow is going to go past. I'm going to erase some of this pencil here. It's throwing me off a bit. Big bada boom. Keep hitting the camera because I got it down so low. So these drawings are no date in mind. Just entirely done on my own initiative. When Jim feels the right time is there, he'll let me know, and he's going to post them up on. They usually do them all on eBay. I was thinking that maybe if I'm a guest at like a con, we could do a silent auction. But he's absolutely right that eBay gets a larger audience and might help raise more money for the charity. I know what to do. So I'm almost done this thing here. I'm just contemplating the best way to address this gap I gave myself here at the top. I was contemplating giving him a hat, but I'm like that, like a big bucket hat. But then I got to redo everything here and probably erase a bunch of stuff, or like a straw hat, which would change the shadows. I'd have to conceive the piece with that. So I think I might just do like kind of like a Mobius landscape with stuff. It's almost like I hate to say it, but it's like a bullshit background. It still looks like a background. It looks like I put a lot of thought into it. I haven't. As you've seen it do it, I'm just kind of like making up the lines as I go. Yeah, if I was better prepared for this, I'd probably do this with rubber stamps. I'm going to do this with line and white paint. Even better than this would be a marker. rather than a ballpoint, because I can drag the felt point and get a fainter line, more of a tonal pattern. Just want to create a dark enough tonal pattern behind the top part of his head here. Well, thank you. Pterodactyl, you know, I don't know, I'm in my vulture period now, so I feel I should be drawing vultures everywhere. Should have taped off the edge of the board, but I don't think it's going to be that finicky to matter. And this is where I pretend it's magic, and I planned this all along, but in reality, it's me just trying to save my ass after doing a bunch of squiggles that didn't quite turn out the way I wanted them to. A little water. Boop. A little bit of Dr. Martin's Pro White, bleed proof white, sorry, not Pro White. Need this to be kind of opaque but spreadable. Just to give it a sense of that cloudiness. What's the size? This is, I'm going to have to measure it. I can't remember. It's smaller than a backing board, so it's smaller than 7x11. Let me, I should have erased first before doing this, because erasing always messes with white paint a bit, but I'm doing it all up here. Yeah, it's looking like pretty much what I thought it was going to look like. Where's my... All right. Sylva's using my ruler right now. She's working on a comic in the other room. Usually have a measuring tape on hand. I usually have so many different means to measure everything. And I'm looking around and none of the... Oh, here's one. I assume we want like imperial. So the board is 6.5 by 10. 6.5 by 10. I hope so. I'm going to let this fully dry before I go back in and get rid of all the pencil and do a little white paint corrections here. 8:15 already. Shoot, I really spent a lot of time on this, didn't I? I didn't even sign it. I'll sign it when I fix it. Let me start penciling another one. Probably pencil this one out. No problem. Well, actually, I'd have to erase everything first. No, it's just too low. Yeah, the pencil strokes just completely reveal way too much about Invisible Girl. Yeah, I love drawing Punk Storm. Punk Storm's the best Storm. Like how they kind of like brought that into all our more contemporary designs. So what I'm going to do is I'm probably just going to fiddle with this and then ink it when I get time during the week, because it's already like 20 after, and it's like I could possibly get or I could rush it and get a start in on the inks, but I think there's too high a risk of screwing up something, and I want these all to be like, top level work to try and raise as much money for the Hero Initiative as possible. Like White-Eyed Storm. So kind of like I want to do like, let me lighten this up. Take a look at it without all the super dark got stuff here. Where did I put that kneaded eraser? Or did that fall on the floor too? With everything else I keep knocking on the floor. I don't see it. So much pen around here though. Oh, here it is. Yeah, they've come out using that the initial Paul Smith design as a jumping off point, has made every costume that she's had since just that much better. That eye's wrong. Nose is a little off too, so I gotta fiddle with that structure of the head. That I might be wrong, but I like the stylized nature of it. Gonna have to fight with it. All right, so after last week, I did open up the commission slots on my Big Cartel shop. Link in the description. And so if anyone wants to start getting some of the Christmas time commissions lined up, this chin's got to be over here a bit more. I want the eyes start there. There we go. That's already a lot better. I'll pull that lip in a bit more. Just a little bit of work like that already makes it that much better. So yeah, so if anyone wants to start, I'm only going to have like a couple of commissions open leading up to Christmas. So if you want them, now's the time to grab one. Especially if you want me to do it live, you want video of me doing it. But if it's a gift, you can say, "Oh, but not only is this drawing for you, here's the video of the artist making it." So that if that's appealing, then that is why they're open now. Plus, small benefit from Coven. Apparently, Coven did start shipping this week. I've had at least 2 people say they got email notification of books being delivered to them. I put out an open ask and only 2 people responded so far. So I don't know how many books have gone out. As I went on to probably more length than needed to do last week. This year's Coven campaign has now been bumped to next year because I didn't want to start a new campaign till the other Witch book's out. It's that important to me. I want that to be lightning bolt earrings. I think I saw Mark Sylvester give her lightning bolt earrings, so I'm going to give her lightning bolt earrings too. Maybe a straighter nose too. Yeah, that's better. I dated a black girl who has a nose like that, so I'm going to go with that. Yeah. So unless the commission comes in next week, I'm going to actually do some of the work on the first short story that'll be serialized across October for Witchtober this year. That's what I'm doing. Thank you so much, Anson. That means a lot. That really does. So barring a commission, next week I'm actually going to do some work on the stuff that'll start showing up on October 1st. By October 1st, we should have a landing page so people can subscribe to be notified upon launch of the next Witch campaign in a year. But I'm also going to have the landing page for the Viking horror comic that'll be campaigning in the spring called "We Bring Only Death," which I've been looking forward to doing for a very long time. My son's actually building a Viking ship for me. A nice, highly detailed wooden model ship of a Viking longboat, so I can use it as reference for drawing this and other Viking comics. So I hope the first one's successful enough for me to immediately go, yes, we're doing more. Because I got way too many Viking horror story ideas. I wonder if I could give her like Cat's Eye. It's a nice placeholder. Not sure if I'm going to go this completely crazy with the mohawk, but it's always nice to draw it like way too huge. Okay, so death. I could easily do. I mean, Neil Gaiman aside, I have no problem drawing those characters. Those characters are very important to a lot of people. Characters are still important to me. They weren't the creation of one single person. It turns out to be sadly incredibly toxic. But if you are fond of the characters, and I mean, I can imagine for the Here initiative, I'm probably going to be drawing at least a few of the endless for these, probably a couple of Sandman, a couple of Death. Those seem to be the two most popular. Maybe and Destiny. No, Delirium. Yeah, I had a lot of fun drawing a Delirium piece earlier this year. That went almost immediately on my art site. All right, so that's all I'm able to really get done tonight's session. I hope you enjoyed the book. It's Guthrie Bombas. Right after this, I'll go look, see if I can find an active link. Hopefully it's still in print. I did do a little racing just now. I think this one turned out all right. It looks a little mopey, but I think, if you're stuck in a big rock body and you're a Brooklynite guy who likes smoking cigars, you're allowed to look a little mopey in a big orange body. Although I do like, the shirt, V-neck, and sunglasses hanging off of it. I thought that was a nice touch to my mind anyway. So Storm, these will probably get, as they get done, I'll probably post them on social media. And again, remind people about the Hero Initiative. So I will be back next Sunday, same bat time, same bat YouTube channel. I'll start off with an art book, either something that's already in my collection or something I just added. There's some books I just added, but I just realized I want to talk about the Guthrie Bombas book. And next week's going to be witchy stuff. You guys have an amazing week. Hopefully I will see you in 7 days. And that's it. You guys have a great night. Thank you so much for coming.